Yeah. So, hello students. So, we'll start with the session now. And in terms of the topic that I'm going to cover today, as per the schedule, is all about the module 3, which has the second chapter, or rather third chapter I'm taking up today. So we are in the module 3, which is about economic efficiency of the firm, performance analysis, and in that there are 3 chapters. So yesterday, or rather the previous session, I finished economic performance indicator. Today I am taking market factors affecting pricing decision. So the second chapter, which is about profit maximization under different market structure, I will take in the next session. So to begin with, let's understand what are the market factors affecting pricing decision, and in that typically there is a comparison between traditional versus modern theories of the firm. So what is traditional economic theory? So let's understand what is meant by that, and in that the primary goal obviously traditionally has been profit maximization, and hence the firm set prices So the firm sets prices and output where MC is equal to market, MC is equal to MR. So oligopoly is the dominant market structure in traditional economic theory, and pricing is based on the average cost principle, wherein the formula is P is equal to AVC, average variable cost plus average fixed cost plus profit margin. So in traditional economic theory, it does not differentiate between the owners and the manager's interests. However, this theory had criticisms, and the alternative theories, obviously, Anu, are you able to see and hear me out?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And see the presentation as well?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Perfect, great. So we are on the third chapter of module 3, which is about market factors affecting pricing decisions. Chapter 2, which is about the profit maximization theory, I will be taking it in the next session. So in this, currently we are seeing the criticism and alternative theories to the traditional theory. So the criticism that traditional theory has faced is about it ignores managerial motivation and stakeholders' interest. So several modern theories challenge profit maximization as the sole objective, and that's where the need of modern theories arose. The alternative theories arose. So let's see the alternative theories of the firm. So first theory is about Baumol's sales revenue maximization. In that, the propagation of the theory is that managers prioritize sales revenue over profit. So in that there are 2 models. One is the static, which is about single period, and the other one is about the dynamic model, which is about the multi-period growth. Then the second alternative theory which emerged was Maris growth maximization model, wherein one aspect was of focus on the balanced growth, which includes product demand plus capital supply. And then the another theory another key feature of this model was manager's utility, which includes salary, power, job security and prestige. And the second is about owner's utility, which includes output, capital, market share and profit. So this is what Maris's growth maximization model was. Then the third alternative theory which emerged was about was of Williamson's managerial discretion model. In this, managers maximizes their own utility, which includes salary, staff expenditure and discretionary investments, and profit is a constraint rather than the primary goal. The fourth model was about Sayre March behavior model, In this, the propagation was firms operate in uncertainty with limited information, and instead of maximizing profit, they aim rather for satisfactory outcomes. So behavior was the focus rather than the profit maximization as such. One of the key feature again over here in this behavioral model was firms satisfy various interest groups rather than focusing solely on the growth or sales. So this is about alternative theories of the firm which emerged. Now let's understand, because we are talking about market factors affecting pricing decision, the pricing models that are prevalent. So what is the importance of pricing? Why pricing is so important? So incorrect pricing leads to losses, underpricing, or market share decline, which leads to overpricing. So these are the prominent aspects which has thrown the emergence or importance of pricing. So the profit formula is pi is equal to P into Q minus total fixed cost plus total variable cost, where P is the price, directly impacts profitability and depends upon internal and external factors. So what are those internal and external? We'll see in the coming slides. However, there are four main pricing methods which are prevalent. First is the cost-based pricing, wherein the price is set by adding a margin to production cost. Second pricing model is about demand pricing model, or rather demand based pricing, wherein price is determined by consumer demand and willingness to pay. So that is demand based pricing. Third type of pricing method is the competition based pricing, wherein price is set based on the competitor's pricing strategy. And fourth is about strategy based pricing, wherein prices are aligned with firms' long-term business goals and positioning. So these are the four pricing methods which have emerged and which are determined by the various aspects of the market. So let's understand each of it. So cost-based pricing. So over here, if at all I have to define, the definition is the pricing is determined by adding a markup to either total cost, fixed plus variable, or variable cost. That's what the cost-based pricing is. Types of cost-based pricing. So over here there are two categories: full cost pricing, wherein price includes both fixed and variable cost with a markup, and second is the variable cost, which is the marginal cost pricing, where the price covers variable cost and contributes to the fixed cost, also known as traditionally break-even pricing or target profit pricing. Of course, this cost-based pricing has a limitations, wherein it ignores market demand and no guarantee that customers will buy at the calculated price. Another limitation is that it lacks flexibility. It does not consider competitive pricing or consumer perception. So these are the limitations for cost-based pricing. Now let's look into the other pricing method, which is about, or the model which is about demand based pricing. So here, if I have to define, or one has to define demand based, then it is a pricing which is based on consumer preferences and perceived value. Higher the price means lower sales volume, and lower price means higher sales volume. Typically the demand based, that's what it means. Types of demand based pricing includes perceived value pricing, which has the characteristics that price is set based on consumer perception of value, and it requires measuring and understanding how buyers value the product. Second type of demand based pricing is differential pricing, which in a way is called price discrimination, wherein product or service is sold at different prices in different market segments. So that is differential pricing. Now over here, the factors influencing price differentiation includes geographical location, type of consumer, purchase quantity, and season or time of service. So these are the two types of demand based pricing: perceived value pricing and differential pricing. The third pricing model is competition based pricing, which can be defined as pricing is based on market trends and competitor strategies. It ensures stability in competitive markets. So let's understand the types of competitive based pricing. The competitive based pricing includes going rate pricing, which has characteristics like firms follow industry pricing trends or price leaders strategy. It reduces risk of cutthroat competition and common in monopolistic and oligopolistic markets. The second type of competition based pricing is sealed bid pricing, wherein this kind of a pricing is used in tenders and contracts which are required to be applied for. So if wherever there is a tendering process which is required in getting awarded the contracts, the sealed bid pricing is used. Here the firms submit a sealed price bids and the lowest bidder wins. So that's what typically traditionally, as we know, the bidding mechanism has this. So sealed bid pricing is used in tenders and contracts. Another category or another type of competition based pricing is the trade association pricing. Over here typically the firms collaborate explicitly or implicitly to maintain stable prices. So normally these kind of trade association pricing is decided for all the members of the trade association, wherein another category or another characteristic is that it prevents downward pressure on prices due to competition and the risk of price wars if firms break agreements. So there are chances that whoever is associated with that trade association may break the agreement which has been made with the trade association, and then it lands up or leads to risk of price wars between the participants of or the members of the trade association. So this is what third category of competition based pricing, which is trade association pricing. The fourth category or fourth type is the customary pricing. Over here prices remain fixed in consumer's mind. Example charm pricing. And another characteristics is that cost changes may lead to quality adjustments rather than price changes. So if you see this, typically chapter is a short chapter and primarily focusing on those factors of the market which affect the pricing decisions. So in a way, depending on the nature of the market factors, the categorization of the pricing models have got evolved. The fourth pricing model based on the market factors is the strategy based pricing. On the basis of strategy adopted by the organization, pricing is either penetration pricing and scheming pricing. So there are two subcategories of strategy based pricing. One is the penetration pricing and the second is the scheming pricing. So what is penetration pricing? Let's understand this. This is a pricing technique in which new product is offered at very low price by adding a nominal markup to its cost of production. The purpose over here is so that the prices are so rock bottom low that it is able to penetrate the market as early as possible. It aims at maximizing the market share of the product, and once it is achieved, that is when the demand picks up, the firm can increase the price of the product. So the pricing strategy typically, if you see, of Reliance Jio and whoever are the experts who will be or rather who are observing Reliance Jio pricing strategy, it will be observed that it adopts a penetration pricing. So typically, if at all one has to see the example of Reliance Jio started operations in the year 2016 in telecommunication sector. Slowly it gained more than 50 million subscribers in exactly 83 days of launch. So if someone has monitored, and typically the market researchers monitor the pricing strategies, one will find that Reliance Jio has a pricing strategy adopted of penetrations pricing, and in this Reliance Jio within 83 days of its launch captured almost 50 million, that is like 5 crore subscribers exactly in 83 days of launch. So this is the the company accomplished as it offered free services to the subscribers for the initial period. So that's how the market penetration was done by Reliance Jio, wherein the new product is offered at a very low price or almost like at free of cost, or by just adding a nominal markup to it, to the cost of production, only that much of markup which will recover the cost, ensure the cost, and thereby maximizes the market share of the product. Once it is achieved, once the demand gets picked up, the firm can increase the price of the product. So that's why initially the Reliance Jio data plans or voice plans were very minimal or attractive, or rather it was at the cheapest. And the moment the demand got increased, slowly the pricing started. So that's how the penetration pricing is always focusing on penetrating or changing the market share dimensions itself of the market. So penetration pricing, another characteristic, it results in lower profits in the short run. Initially there are lower profits, however in the long run it results in higher profits because it increases the market share, the base of the customers increase, and the reason behind adopting market pricing are as under: new product offered by the firm is already provided by other well established brands. The low pricing will allure customers to switch to the new product who are already familiar with the other brands. Another penetration pricing helps in increasing the sales of the product in shorter period, and it restricts new entrants from entering the market because no one is able to afford the kind of pricing that this penetration pricing has made available to the customers. So that's the benefit of penetration pricing in strategy based. So there is a strategy entirely followed by the businesses to capture the market share, not market share, but the market share per se of that entire telecom industry. That's what, if you closely observe, the Reliance Jio strategy had been. Another strategy based pricing method or model is about scheming pricing. In this, the pricing strategy in which high markup is charged for the new product, leading to high prices so as to scheme the cream from the market, is known as scheming pricing. It entails fixing a high price of the new product before other competitors step into the market. This technique is used in case of new product which faces no to little competition in the market and have a great extent of consumer acceptability. So the classic example, if someone really observes and has followed scheming pricing, Anu or Rakesh, can you give an example of scheming pricing that has been adopted by anyone in current situation right now, considering the factors which are there or the characteristics of scheming pricing? Any such product which has in a way, high priced itself so as to scheme the cream. That's scheming means coming with the cream only. That's what scheming process is all about, and typically used in buttermilk or so as to say cold coffee. So any product that you realize that is adopting scheming pricing, we have seen penetration pricing being adopted by Reliance Jio. Sorry?
Maybe electrical vehicles.
Sorry, I am not able to get the name of the company.
Maybe electrical vehicles. Something like Ola or
Uber.
cars which have been recently launched.
Yeah, so I'll help you out. If you really closely observe the characteristics of scheming pricing, yeah, no. Sorry, Rakesh, I think your mic is up and someone is talking at the back. If you can switch off the mic for some time till you don't answer anything. Yeah, Ola Uber can be one wherein high pricing was used. The classic example of scheming pricing is the Apple phones. Okay, so Apple as a product has been always high priced, and that's where only the cream or the scheming pricing model is adopted by Apple, and that's why only it entails a fixing a higher price for the new product before other competitors steps into the market. This technique is used in case of new product which faces no to little competition. So there is no competition in that space where Apple products are being placed in the market. So Apple can be one or can be construed or studied as a company adopting scheming pricing. Other characteristics of scheming pricing is that market scheming pricing is adopted by the company due to the following reasons. In the early stages, the demand for the market is inelastic till the product occupies a good position in the market. In the initial phase, the demand for the product is not known and the high price helps in covering the cost of production at a faster pace. In the beginning, there is a huge requirement of capital for producing the product, resulting in high production costs. Further, a huge amount is invested in the promotional activities that also adds to its cost, and therefore when the product is charged high, it will cover the cost of production and promotion expenses easily. That's what the whole intent. So if you see the characteristics of scheming pricing, it will go well with the Apple strategy, Apple products. Yes? Right, Rakesh and Anu? Yeah, so these are the characteristics of market scheming pricing, and wherever the higher cost because of the being charged is to recover the high cost of production and the promotion expenses which are incurred initially. Those are immediately getting recovered. So the cost of production gets recovered because of the high pricing. Now let's understand what are the factors affecting pricing decision of the firm typically. So the pricing decision or the model that is to be adopted by the firm largely depends or are influenced by the both external and internal factors that ensure that the firm can cover cost, compete effectively and achieve its strategic goals. So let's understand what are the internal factors, that those factors which are within the organization. First is the strategic goal of the company, wherein the pricing aligns with the long-term objectives like profit growth and market share expansion. Second factor is the cost, wherein fixed and variable costs directly impact pricing. Trade-off is always achieved between cost reduction and quality maintenance. Consideration of competitor prices and customer purchasing power. So these are the three features of cost as an internal factor. And the third internal factor which is normally impacting pricing decision is the organizational considerations. One, different departments in like finance, sales, marketing have conflicting interests in pricing. So they in a way influence the pricing decisions that are taken by the firm. And second aspect in organization consideration is that the final pricing decisions require top level management approval after deliberations and discussion. So at times the top management level may accept or may not allow or strike down the price that has been suggested also, and hence there is a larger impact of these internal factors in the pricing decision of the firm. Now moving ahead, what could be the another internal factor is the marketing mix strategy, the traditional 4 P's, wherein product, promotion, place and price is connecting factor between product, promotion and place. A slight price change impacts product promotion and distribution, of course. So these are the 4 internal factors: strategic goal, cost, organization considerations, and fourth is the marketing mix strategy. Now let's understand the external factors outside the organization. So the first external factor obviously is the market demand. Pricing depends on demand fluctuations. Seasonal demand affects pricing. Example, vegetable prices vary by season, because those are season dependent pricing that one has to adopt if at all a particular firm is in that kind of a seasonal demanded products. Second aspect or second external factor is the competition. Pricing is affected by the market structure. Perfect competition leads to stiff pricing competition. In monopoly, because there is no competition, price is set by the firm. In oligopoly or monopolistic competition, differentiated pricing strategies are required to be adopted. So depending on what sort of competition the firm is facing, accordingly the external factors impact the pricing of that particular organization. Third category or third key factors or external factors that are impacting the pricing decision are the government policies. So a lot of tax subsidies, economic zones impact the pricing that is adopted by the firm. And second government related factor is the licenses and quotas that may be required by the firm to be procured. So those may at times restrict or influence the price setting. So the regulatory cost in a way also impacts the pricing decision. And classic example is the telecom sector, because a lot of regulatory fees and regulatory cost is involved in telecom sector, and hence the pricing is impacted by the government policies etc. that are being implemented for the telecom sector. The fourth factor, external factor, is the economic conditions. So the overall, if at all it's a prosperous economy, the higher price is possible. Higher pricing is possible because customers have higher purchasing power. So if the GDP growth, inflation rate is less, unemployment rates are less, it in a way constitutes prosperous economy, wherein higher prices are possible to be charged because the customers have higher purchasing power in their hand. And in recession economy, lower prices are needed because customers have very lower disposable income in their hands. So in a way that leads to recession. So these are the economic conditions that impact the or can be considered as the external factors affecting pricing decision of the firm. So with this, in a way, because it's a short chapter, we come to an end of the session. But before the closure, because Anu and Rakesh, you joined a bit late, I feel I will do a quick recap of the concept what we have covered today. So we started with the chapter 3 of the module 3, wherein market factors affecting pricing decisions were considered. In that we saw the traditional versus modern theories of the firm. In traditional economy theory, the primary goal has been profit maximization. So pricing is based on the average cost principle, wherein P is the price is equal to average variable cost plus average fixed cost plus profit margin. Then we saw certain criticisms for the traditional economic theory, because in that traditional theory, the criticism which was there, that this traditional theory ignores managerial motivations and stakeholder interest, and hence the several modern theories challenged profit maximization as the sole objective. So modern theories challenge the only profit maximization theory or the goal that is adopted by the traditional economic theory. Now then we saw the various alternative theories that got emerged of the firm, wherein sales revenue maximization was propagated by Baumel's theory. Growth maximization model was propagated by the Maris's theory, which focused on balanced growth, wherein product demand plus capital supply were the key drivers. Then we saw the Williamson's managerial discretion model, wherein managers maximize their own utility and profit is a constraint rather than the primary goal. The fourth one, modern theory or the fourth alternative theory that we saw, was about Syed-March behavioral model, wherein the firm operates in uncertainty with limited information. Instead of maximizing the profit, they aim for satisfactory outcomes, and firms satisfy various interest groups rather than focusing solely on the growth or sales. So these were the four models. Then we went on to pricing models and the importance of pricing, wherein we saw four main pricing models or methods: cost-based pricing, where a cost is the focus. So price is set by adding a margin to the production cost. Then we saw demand-based pricing, wherein prices are determined by the consumer demand and willingness to pay. And competition-based pricing, wherein prices are set based on the competitors' pricing strategy. So competitors influence your pricing, and that's what we saw Reliance Jio as a primary case, wherein penetration pricing, which is a subcategory of competition-based pricing, was being adopted by Reliance Jio. Then fourth method which is there is the strategy-based pricing, wherein prices are aligned with firms' long-term business goals and positioning. Then we saw within each of the pricing model what are the characteristics, what are the different types of cost-based pricing. So wherein cost is the focus, and cost is pricing is determined by adding a markup to either total cost or just the variable cost, that is cost based pricing. In there are two categories, full cost pricing and variable cost pricing, which is traditionally known as marginal costing or also known as break-even pricing. It had its own limitations in terms of ignoring market demand and lacking flexibility in pricing. Then we saw demand-based pricing, wherein higher the price, lower the sales volume, and lower the price, higher the sales volume. That's what typically demand as an economic indicator is always. Types of demand-based pricing included perceived value pricing. So price is set based on the consumer perception of value. However, it requires measuring and understanding how buyers value the product. The second method which is adopted by demand-based pricing is the differential pricing. Price discrimination depending on the product and services is sold at different prices in different market segments. Accordingly, the pricing has to be differentiated. So the factors influencing price differentiation were predominantly geographical location, type of consumer, purchase quantity, and season or time of service. Then we saw the competition based pricing, wherein the pricing is based on the market trends and competitor strategies. So I am just doing a recap of, because being a short chapter, I am just doing a quick recap in the given time frame only about the chapter, so that those who have joined late or are looking at this session lately or after some time, they should not miss anything. That's why I am doing a recap. So the third is method was about competition based pricing, wherein pricing is based on the market trends and the competitor strategy, so which ensures stability in the competitive markets. Now the types of competition based pricing included going rate pricing, wherein the firms follow industry trends at what rate the currently the product is being sold, that pricing to be adopted. Sorry. Then comes the sealed bid pricing, which is typically used. So the firm submits sealed price bids and the lowest bidder wins. This typically pricing is used in tenders and contracts which are required to be awarded or won. Another competition based pricing is the trade association pricing. So wherein we are a particular firm is a part of or a member of a association. Whatever that association decides the price, that will be adopted by the or will be charged by the price or by the firm. So firms collaborate explicitly or implicitly to maintain stable prices. This prevents downward pressure on the prices due to competition, and however there is a risk of price wars if the firms break agreements which have been entered into with the trade association. Fourth category in competitor based pricing is the customary pricing. Prices remain fixed in consumer's mind. Example is charm pricing, and in this kind of a method the cost changes may lead to quality adjustments rather than price changes. And the fourth method is the strategy based pricing, wherein there are two subtypes. One is the penetration pricing and second is the scheming pricing. In penetration, typically the new product is offered at a very low price, whereby or at least there is some nominal markup to cover the cost of production, and thereby the market is penetrated as early as possible. So here in this pricing, the aim is to maximize the market share of the product by the firm, and once it is achieved, when the demand gets picked up, the market can slowly increase the price of the product. So this pricing strategy, typically if someone is studying the market, is adopted by Reliance Jio, who came into the telecom operations in 2016, and within 83 days they almost captured a huge amount of market share to the tune of 50 million customers, fresh subscribers. So this the company accomplished as it offers these services to the subscribers for the initial period. In this penetration pricing, the lower profits in the short run, however in the long run it results in higher profit because it increases the market share. And the reasons behind adopting market pricing is typically to capture the market share and thereby restrict new entrants or old entrants also from reviving and entering into the market. The second kind of strategy based pricing is the scheming pricing. In this, higher markup is charged for the new product, leading to higher price so as to skim the cream from the market, which is known as skimming pricing. So in this, it entails fixing a higher price for the new product before other competitors step into the market. Thereby, only the cream from the market is retained by the firm. So these are the characteristics of skimming pricing that we went through. Then we saw the real factors affecting pricing decision, and those factors which were categorized between internal and external, and in internal factors which are typically within the organization. The three key drivers are the strategic goals of the company, cost, and third is the organizational considerations. So different departments have conflicting interests in pricing, and hence final pricing decision requires top level management approval after discussions and deliberations. The external, another fourth internal factor is the marketing mix strategy, that is the 4 P's. So price is always in connection with, is the connecting factor between the product, promotion and place. A slight price change impacts product promotion and distribution. External factors are typically the outside the organization. Market demand is the key most external factor. Then we saw competition obviously is the external factor which impacts or affects the pricing decisions. Third category is the government policies that in a way drive the pricing decision for a particular firm, and more evidently the telecom sector is the classic example for such kind of government policies driving pricing. Economic conditions, of course, the prosperous economy reflects higher prices possible because customers have higher purchasing power, and in recession economy the prices are lowered because it is needed to lower the prices because customers have in their hand very lower disposable income. So in a way, this is how we conclude the chapter 3 of module 3, which is about factors affecting the pricing decisions of a firm. In the next session we will cover the second chapter, which is about just to tell everyone, it is about profit optimization under different market structure. So we will study what are the different market structures are prevalent and how profit optimization can be achieved in those different market structures which are there in the economy. So with this we conclude the chapter 3 of the module 3. Any questions, Rakesh or Anu or Rajaram, that you have on the topic? Anu?
Okay.
Nothing?
No.
Okay. Rakesh, anything you have in your mind you want to share or add to what I have said so far? Or any corrections that you feel in my concept understanding or explanations? No, I guess nothing from Rakesh side also, and over here also Rajaram doesn't have anything. So with this, should we conclude the session, today's session, guys? Okay, so we'll stop here for the day and see you in the next session with the, as I said, chapter 2 of module 3, which is about profit maximization in different market structure, how it can be achieved. So we'll stop for the day and I'll end the session now. See you in the next session, guys. Thank you.